Hello, Captains. It's me, TONIK TZW. You might have heard from my videos that I put out last week that I was feeling a little bit under the weather, and unfortunately that's gotten worse over the course of the weekend, and I've got a head full of cold, a snotty nose, a bit of a chesty cough, and not really got much energy in me at the moment. So I've actually taken the day off work today and spent most of the day in bed, trying to take on fluids and filling myself full of medication. And yeah, we're kind of somewhat alive, and thankfully we're going to stay alive through this game, and it's probably lucky that I did. I often say that it's not about damage in this game. You know, you can do world record leading damage, but if you're still taking a loss, then you're not doing things right. And in this game, I'm in a cruiser, a class of ship that I probably play around, I'd say 30% of the time. So I'm not really brilliant at them. I don't know how to play them all best, but what I do know is how to play them in a way in which I can try to make the most out of a game and for my team. Now, we've got a Tashkent 39 out there ahead of us, and I probably am going to have to mute my mic at some points and sniff and cough and clear my throat. So apologies for that. But it's not very often I see a Tashkent 39 played well. Now, unfortunately, I can't get any more shots on that destroyer, and Mr. Budyonny there, if you remember my other video that I did in the Budyonny, he is going to try and defend that cap to the best of his abilities. But our Tashkent 39 is actually going to do a decent job of it in this game. He's not going to come top of the board, and to be frank, as much as I enjoy coming top of the board in a destroyer, if I'm in any other class of ship and I beat the destroyers to the top of the board, I do feel a little bit smug. Yeah, it is fun to do something like that. It's, I'd say, a fairly decently balanced game in this one, but across on A cap, we lost our destroyer, which was one of the secondary French lines, and he managed to sail straight into torpedoes of an Asatio, I think it was. And the two guys that spawned across there with him on A cap are going to be able to do nothing but run, because there were two destroyers spotted across there. I want to say the other one was a Benson. It's either a Benham or a Benson. I've kind of zipped through the video backwards and forwards a couple of times to try and figure out which one it was, and just to refresh myself on the gameplay. But we've got two battleships pushing very, very slowly up this flank, and that Leon there has damage controlled, and I know he's fast and I know he has a lot of guns. So knowing that he's damage controlled, I wanted to try and get another fire on him. What I'd also like is a little bit of backup from these two battleships behind me. So I'm not pushing aggressively forwards, because pushing aggressively forwards at this stage of the game, when there's a lot of ships on the map still, especially when there's a California out there, and you'll notice that I'm turning straight away, because what I want to do is to turn and kite away from this California, because between him and the Leon, they could absolutely get a drop on me and take me out of this game very, very quickly. But with torpedoes heading towards them, I'm thinking, okay, if I can get a fire on him. Oh no, the torpedoes weren't going for him, and they ran out a very, very long way away from him. But I'm going to try and get a fire onto this California, and you'll see that as I'm running Norman Scott, I have got the indicator there that tells me how many ships are looking at me and how many ships are likely to be shooting at me. So that gives me the opportunity to turn, get my guns on, fire a salvo, try and do a little bit of damage, support the team, and then turn out of any shots that are coming my way. Yes, I did have to mute my mic there. I can hear it in my own voice as to how rough I'm actually sounding. So apologies for that. I hope to be better soon. But it's that time of year when it's cold and wet and miserable, and all the bugs start coming around again. By bugs, I don't mean insects, of course, to my American colleagues, but I mean little viruses and things like that. Now, we get a kill there on the California, but I think that was possibly a fire kill, as the DD does a cracking job of taking out that other battleship. And kiting away, I was able to draw some fire off the battleships that are pushing up on that flank, but they're right on the edge of the map. You know, it's the biggest, slowest ships, and they're going the longest way around the map. But here we go. The destroyer is pushing in. It is a Benson, and I'm going to do what I can to try and lead this guy, knowing full well that it's got very floaty shells on this ship. This is actually only my second game in this ship, and I was just looking for something different to play, to do a tier 6 premium. I think it was last week, and I realized I'd only had one game in this, and I'd lost it, so I decided that we got to try and do something a bit better than a defeat. We lose a ship there, absolutely thrashed from the other side of the map, and I'm still trying to do what I can to get guns onto this Benson, going so far as to blind fire in his smoke. But the Leon is coming back in as well. I can see myself being targeted, and I'm going to try and turn out of this one, knowing that the Leon is fast. And again, guys, new to the game, have a look at the bow wake of the ship. You can see from the size of the bow wake on the ship how fast it was going, and the smokestack will also tell you how fast the ship is going. If the smoke is just going straight up, then it is stationary. If it's going, you know, hard to the rear, they're going fast. That comes with a big bow wake. And obviously, if the smoke is going towards the bow of the ship, that means that the ship is in reverse. And as people change speed in their ships, the smoke and the bow wake will change. So that's something to look out for when you're playing a game. And also, one of the things that you see people do many times is to do the auto target and then zoom in on the ship more than once, because if the ship is slowing down, then that auto target reticule will move generally closer to the ship itself. It's a good way of basically being able to judge where you need to fire before you actually fire, and thereby give yourself a better chance at doing some damage. Now, at this stage of the game, I know there's a destroyer coming behind us. We know this battleship is coming behind us, and we know that there are two cruisers coming behind us. And what you're actually going to see is me do the best I can. I don't know how this Isashio got himself spotted, but he's made one hell of a mistake. He's rolling the smoke, he's pushing the cap, he's being far, far more aggressive than he needs to be, because the Isashio has got the concealment, but we lose another ship. Red team have the advantage here, but I need to be able to get rid of this Isashio. If we can get rid of him, then we're going to even up the odds. There we go, 3 ships apiece now. And then I'm looking at this guy here, the Rook, and he has got a fire on him. It is ticking. I see myself get targeted again, but I'm looking at the minimap and thinking where the cruisers are going to appear, because what I don't want to do is have myself flat broadside to that Rook, and I leave him with a sliver of health. That is going to cost me a little bit of a Brucey bonus. But knowing that we have a battleship out here, then there's a good chance that he is obviously going to pick up a cheap kill. One of the guys that sailed all the way around the outside of the map, as we've got a Black Friday special, the Munchen Bee, pushing in with almost full health. Now, I know there is another cruiser out here. I didn't see what it was, but I'm about to see it very, very soon. I'm using this island to screen me from the Munchen as I push back. Excuse me while I sniff. And there we go. We get the other destroyer spotted. It's a Japanese cruiser. That means he's got long-range torpedoes. Those torpedoes are going to hit hard. We are going to get spotted. But I also know that Japanese cruisers have very bad torpedo angles, which means he's going to have to give us a bit of a broadside to get those shots off. That Munchen misses getting the drop on me because I was quite broadside to him, but he's more interested in the cap. He's probably more interested in taking out the low health battleship at the back, but Mr. Takachi here is going to make a bit of a mistake. He's going to do some jinking around, and as he is going to bow tanker me, I'm thinking, is he going full broadside here to put his torpedoes off? More than likely, so I'm going to slam my engines into full reverse, and you'll see the smokestacks there. You'll see the smoke beginning to straighten up and point up to the sky. I'm having a look at the map and I'm saying, please guys, defend that cap. Takachi loses a gun. He damage controls the fire, which means as I've got HE loaded, AP would have been just as good here, but that is him out of the game, and he wouldn't have survived that fire that I got on him anyway. Munchen is feeling a bit hungry for kills here. He is going to finish off the battleship, whereas if he had double teamed me with the Takachi, they might have been able to take me out of the game. There's the torpedoes across the bow. We lose our Leon, but I'm already shooting at this guy. We're only on 80,500 damage. Now, what's going through my mind here is that we have a very small lead. We do currently hold 2 caps, but as the Munchen B is contesting this one, we're not earning any points. But our destroyer has had the opportunity to get all the way across there onto a cap, which means that we can potentially maintain the advantage. I can afford to die as long as we have more than 100 points lead. And as I've got way more hit points than this Munchen, I can afford to let this fire burn. So thinking here about game mechanics, and also as long as I can keep this Munchen spotted and keep him reset on the cap resets are worth a lot of XP, and yeah, we're just going to let that fire burn, and we're going to keep our damage control available. Now we're getting a bit closer to him. He's got more guns than us. He's got a faster reload on us, so he could potentially do a lot of damage to us. He's got a spotter plane up. Little does he realize that that doesn't really do a lot to help him these days. I'm going to put my fighter plane up just to try and shoot down his spotter plane. But there we go. We pick up a Confederate. I'm kiting away. He's got an option now. He either comes across to get me, but he isn't even going to get that chance because those shells are going to finish him off for my 4th kill of the game. We had 3 assists there, and if you remember that Rook that I didn't take that final shot on, he could have potentially have been a Kraken kill, and that would have been a new Kraken ship for me as well. So I was a little bit kicking myself about letting that one get away. But mighty pleased to top the board with 3,219 XP. Tashkent 39, probably the best I've seen it played in recent days outside of my own fleet. 2984 base XP, and the Leon there did pick up that kill and managed to get 3rd, probably just by staying alive long enough. But there you go, my rather embarrassing stats for the New Orleans W. I don't even remember when I got it, but the fact that it's come out of a crate means it was probably a free one, and the fact I haven't played it means that, yeah, I had no interest in playing it, but it's bumped up my average stats by having a decent XP game. So I hope you have enjoyed that video. I'm going to go and take a load more medication and probably curl up for an hour on the sofa with a blanket and get a bit of rest. As and when I'll be streaming again, it depends on how quickly I recover and how busy things are at work. But please do smash that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends to come across and subscribe. You can take a membership out, you can make a donation if you like to. It's getting towards Christmas, so if you don't want to donate to me, you can always make a donation to Charlie's Christmas list, of course. Until next time, guys, take care of yourselves and goodbye.